Yo, so the opinions and views expressed in this podcast are that of our own and the Future Bachelor podcast only, and not affiliated with any outside party or entity or anything like that. This fun podcast, though, may include some adult language.
Future Bachelor Podcast.
Whoa, welcome to Future Bachelor. My name is Sai.
I'm Veronica.
And we got a guest in the building. Who we got? Introduce yourself.
Kelly John.
We got Kelly John in the building. Yeah. Busted out the air horns for KJ. What's up, Kelly? How you doing? Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm doing good. I wish that I could be with y'all in person since we're in Atlanta.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you're not too far from us, but we are all still trying to be safe out here. So, but I do appreciate you social distancing with us on the show today. How you feeling? How you have you done podcasts before? You were telling us a little bit about your experience. I want to let our listeners know.
This is my third podcast.
Okay.
And the one I did last night was also Bachelor related. And another one was, I basically talked about my Bachelor experience, not on the show.
Well, let me tell our listeners who Kelly Johns. It's Kelly Johns, right, with an S at the end.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
Kelly Johns. She's an actor and also a recapper of the Bachelor show, and she does it in her own unique way. You've probably seen her with over 16,000 followers on Instagram, 11,000 followers on Twitter. What? The very funny, talented, and also speaks Spanish. Hola, ¿cómo estás, Kelly Johns?
Estoy muy bien.
Oh, my mom is gonna love this. Oh my goodness.
Podemos hablar en español todo el tiempo, ¿no?
I would die. I would be able to understand you and respond in English, but that's about it.
I'm already embarrassing myself. I'm actually half Colombian, half Indian, but I never was taught the language growing up. So
that's the same with my fiance. He's half Mexican American and he learned it in school.
Wait, so you got to translate for him when I got to find a girl like that, so I can go back to my motherland and, not be like taken advantage of. But, so how long you been engaged for?
Since December.
Wow. Just like the exciting time to get engaged right before it was like the shitty time to get engaged, right?
It has been a mess. And like, even just last night, I had like my first breakdown concerning the wedding because we just don't know. We've already postponed once and we're not sure if we should again. And it's just that's stressful.
Hard. Well, I definitely want to know what it's.
There's no right answer.
Yeah, I want to know what it's like to go through this. We're gonna dive completely into you when we get into the interview part of this because I wanna kind of know what's inside the world of Kelly Johns. I'm sure it's pretty busy these days. So, but V, how are you doing today?
I'm out here living, thriving, another day in my apartment, just looking around, stepping outside to get my mail is one of my highlights. I talked to my pest control guy.
Oh, okay.
Today.
Cool. Our listeners love that. Well, how was your last week? What'd you do? Anything fun?
I did some fun things. I've brought them up before. My friends from college that I lived with, we called ourselves The Nest. We had like a little happy hour call because we're all in different time zones. So we did a little Zoom call, caught up, drank some wine, drank some things. And then I actually had a wine night with a couple of my pals here, Amy and Morgan. And then we both went to a pool that was practically a private pool because it's at a apartment that has like nobody living in it yet.
Yeah, that was dope.
The weekend. It was fun.
I was like, Veronica, you're going to the pool? Can I come? And it was actually a guest that we had on the show before. Shout out to Nate, actually, because
shout out to Nate.
He let us go out there on that pool, and it was like we took the drone, we got some sick ass shots, and then we put our, what's gonna be our slapper of the week on the video, and got reposted by DJ Khaled. That was dope, right?
What?
I know. I got text from. I got it.
Kids. I see you keep rapping, keep winning. They want you to lose.
They want me to lose, so we gonna keep winning. I said to Khaled, but that was pretty fun. I got a lot of weird messages from people you get a repost from someone like Khaled. Everyone's like, okay, what's going on here? So.
Yeah, I had a text from my friend Teg. He was like, how did Sai get reposted by DJ Khaled? I was like, He's like, I didn't think celebrities got notifications for that kind of stuff.
Oh
And I
yeah,
was like,
baby. You get it from me at least, so that was pretty cool.
He knows you're the future bachelor.
Yeah,
There
he
you
knows. He
go.
knows. I've actually, when it comes to Khaled, I've done work with him. Like he is his DJ. It's funny because I have a joke I write about this, but DJ Khaled has the best job in the world because he has a DJ, and his DJ is my friend, so we worked at the same radio station. I've done a couple projects and filmed with Khaled and stuff. So like I know of him, but we're not like close or anything like that. That's how I got the
you're
drop
not gonna
from him.
text him up being like, hey man, repost me.
Yeah, I got like a phone number that can get to him maybe or something like that, but it's not that cool. But whatever, it's still cooler than most people. But anyways, what we're talking about cool. It's cool being up in the air on planes. I wouldn't remember, but we might as well maybe get into I don't know quick hits. Veronica, what do we got for some quick hits this week?
So, as we talked about last week on our episode, we talked about all the entanglement.
Yes.
August Alsina, he fired back, which we sort of predicted this back on our Future Bachelor prediction shit. We predicted this. He came out with a song with Rick Ross called Entanglements, where he's...
Yes, he did. Well, the funny part about that song is actually a lot of people are getting into, August Alsina, he's getting messy and blah, blah, blah. But the funny part about this song is that, like, it was written by my friend Derek Milano. Actually, he was this kid that I used to when I used to DJ in Orlando. He used to come up and be like, "Yo, man, can I rock the mic with you?" And luckily, I was one of the cool people that would be like, "Hell yeah, man, get on the mic."
I thought you were about to be like, no.
No. There were people but he was good at it. And then he went on to like go out to LA and he was just like rapping and worked and hustled. And now he's written songs like Savage for Meg Thee Stallion, Beyonce got that credit, and he wrote this. So, like, legit, he wrote it, and then he put it on his Instagram. I was like, okay, like, a little corny in the sense of just, like, no one says entanglement, like, so it's hard to put it in a song. But 2 days later, he was sent to August Alsina. He, like, made it in a day, and then Rick Ross had talked about the idea and got on it. So, yeah, it's kind of, I don't know what to think of the idea, though, of the song. What do you think, Kelly? Have you heard Entanglement?
I have not, and the only thing I can think of is the movie Tangled, the Disney movie.
Disney?
I feel that though. They had a lot of memes about that being all like, and it would show like Jada Pinkett Smith as like Rapunzel in like Tangled, and just like it was great. I was like, yeah.
That's the only thing I can think of.
Right. I mean, it's definitely for a moment, but it makes like August Alsina seem like kind of like petty and corny. I feel like, I don't know.
It just like it directly, people have been hating on it. Like Twitter has been not saying kind things about it. They've been more making fun of it than anything. And I mean, it has Rick Ross on it. Like that's like nobody to like sniff at. Like that's like some real shit.
Yeah, it makes Rick Ross like kind of look whack too, because he's like out here not really like, doing anything anyways. And then like he comes out on this. I don't know what to think about it, but I think it's smart for August Alsina to capitalize on a moment right now where no one actually knew who he was. So I knew who he was because I'm into music, but like he only had like one big song, and because of the Jada thing, I think a lot of his business did get affected by it. Not like I would know or anything, but like I think like right now is the time for him to capitalize on the whole moment to try to like spark like. So we'll see what happens with it. What are some updates with this Tory Lanez, Megan Thee Stallion, like, shooting? Like, so Tory Lanez allegedly shot Meg Thee Stallion? What the hell?
Yeah, so that's what the latest update is that supposedly it was Tory Lanez that shot Meg in the foot. They haven't really like come out with any specific reasoning to why they got into a fight, but like she was trying to get out of his car, and then that's like when he took the gun out, and like her friend Kelsey was like, I was there, I didn't shoot her, and then she even deleted that post. And like they had been hanging out with Kylie at the pool prior, so it's still pretty messy, but like right now the like continuous thread is that it was Tory Lanez that shot her in the foot.
So
who is that?
Yeah, Kelly, what were you gonna say?
Who is this person that shot her?
Okay, so all right, another person in music, but Tory Lanez has actually been around for a while when it comes to when it comes to music, he just recently gotten popular. He's, I'm trying to think of songs off the top of my
What
head.
song is he like? What's a popular song that he's on? I'm trying to think.
There's
He
a
does
couple.
stuff with Meg.
There's a couple, but regardless, he's a shorter rapper. Like apparently his size.
He's like 5'3", supposedly. He's as tall as me.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm
So
a
imagine
shorty.
walking to the party with Meg Thee Stallion. You're 5'3", so already there's probably some short man syndrome stuff happening in the back of his head. And I'm gonna put on my conspiracy hat, or
It's always on set.
Not a conspiracy hat, but like I'm gonna try to like guess what happened here, and I think like maybe she's like the bigger artist here, definitely, and I don't know, and maybe it got into some type. No one knew that they might have been dating, but it's starting to look like they must have been on the low dating each other or something like that. There's still like a lot of like speculation, but I think he might have shot the gun to try to like make a point, but then it just accidentally shot her in the foot. Then she told the cops that it was glass, but then after like further investigation, she couldn't just say it was glass because it was obviously she got shot in the foot.
Yeah.
So I think what happened was like she's trying to defend him. Like she doesn't want to be the reason why Tory Lanez goes to jail for shooting her. Like
I know, but
Which
she
is the
did
sad
tweet.
part.
She did tweet. She's like, Black women are so unprotected, and we hold so many things in to protect the feelings of others without considering our own. It might be funny to y'all on the internet and just another messy topic for you to talk about, but this is my real life, and I'm real life hurt and traumatized. So that might have been when she was like, I'm fed up. I'm going to tell the truth, or really like shed some more light on the situation.
Yeah, it's completely unfortunate. Just, there's these people that have everything going for them, and it's like, why? They throw it all away just to, what, to show off that you're a gangster? Like, you got guns and stuff? Like, you don't have to live this rap life. It's crazy.
You don't.
Look at me. You know what I'm saying? I stepped away from the streets. I'm happy. I'm alive. You know what I'm saying? Not shooting girls, so this is good.
Yeah, thank God, Si. Wow.
Progress. We can all do it. Well, hopefully we find some more about this. Luckily, Meg Thee Stallion is alive and hopefully doing
On the
well.
up and up, yeah. She's on the mend.
So, prayers go out to her. What else we got?
So Drake has been trending all over the internet because there's been pictures of his back tattoos, which are a bunch of different faces. And people are saying that it either looks like the Brady Bunch or like a Zoom call on his
I
back.
didn't hear the Brady Bunch one, but it's hilarious. The Zoom call is pretty funny too. I don't know. Did you see a picture of his back, Kelly?
I have not. I am like not good at keeping up with rappers because I don't listen to rap.
Right.
So
You don't listen to Drake?
No.
You're not Drake in your Serato?
Super lame when it comes to music. I listen to Broadway tunes and
I love that though.
like 90s boy bands.
Okay. We have something in common then. I'm a 90s boy band guy.
But I'm loving that it resembles a Zoom call because he'll always remember this year by that. Like 2020 is forever on his back.
Yeah, and I feel like nobody would call it a Zoom call on his back unless it was 2020. Like, this is
Right.
very of the moment to make fun of him for having like 6 different faces lined up on his back. Because
They're not even
like,
lined up though. They're like sporadically in different sized heads, like all over
they're
his
just
back.
so well, and, like on his arm, they're more lined up and stuff. It's honestly ridiculous. And like,
I think he started with
Are the
one.
people.
Yeah, he started with one,
he's
and he
got
was
his
like,
mom, his dad, he's got Lil Wayne, he's got who else does he have? He's got some like other like artists and stuff
I
that
think he has
are
Aaliyah on there.
he has
Sade.
Aaliyah. I just think it's funny that he has like Lil Wayne on him though, because like Lil Wayne's alive.
Yo, if I was Drake, I would probably put my mom, dad, and Lil Wayne
Okay,
too.
yeah, but like mom, dad makes sense, but like Lil Wayne, like
But Lil
you know,
Wayne changed his life. Like
I know, but it's just kind of funny, like, because it's like, hey, man.
I like Lil Wayne is so cool. I wish there was a reason for me to put him on my body. But you know what I'm saying? If you changed my life, I would definitely get a Little Weezy tattoo. But
Oh my God.
speaking of rap, Apple just did a partnership with Swizz Beatz and Timbaland to do their verses now streaming on Apple TV. the thing in the past we've talked about with these verses, like, well, tonight actually while we're recording, there will be the verses versus DMX and Snoop Dogg putting their songs, battling on each other. But
and this is the first time that they'll be doing it over Apple as well. So
yeah, so I mean the problem with it before is that on Instagram it has a terrible IG live experience and stuff. So partnering with Apple will give it a chance to actually be a good platform to watch it on, and hopefully I'm excited to see what that looks like. I don't know how to find it on Apple TV. That was something that, as a person that does like technology, found it a little hard to get that information, but that's just my 2 cents on it.
Yeah, it's like either live or on demand on Apple Music. And then I guess so you'll be able to watch it after.
And I apologize to Kelly ahead of time because like usually we don't talk about that much rap, but I feel like there's a lot of rap right now.
I know there is.
I
I feel bad.
I have no idea what you're talking about with verses.
Well, verses, have you seen like the verses, or maybe not, but like they've been doing like the verses where they put like 2 big like legend artists together, where like Ludacris and Nelly, and they put their songs like stack like 20 songs against each other, so all their hits, and they essentially go back and forth between like, and then like us as a viewer kind of rates like who won the battle. It's really a praise to both artists because they're not really battling, but it's just a cool way to celebrate like our legacy artists, like, you know, artists that, you know, are maybe not in the forefront these days, but, you know, are still a big deal to, you know, our music world. So
I would love if they did a version like on like Kelly's behalf, like do like a boy band or like more like poppy version. Like I feel like that could be super fun as well.
I think they're
NSYNC versus Backstreet Boys.
Hell yeah. No, I think that's the idea right now, because it was started by Timbaland and Swizz Beatz. It's definitely in the R&B and hip hop world, but the idea behind verses I think will one day be that. Like I think I've seen one where it's Benny Blanco and Ryan Tedder, like both songwriters, you know, big songwriters that went against each other. So you could really do verses in country, you could do verses with brand new artists, you know, whatever. So I'm sure eventually you'll be like, I've heard of verses before. When it comes to like Broadway, it'll be like Hamilton versus Cats. We know who will win though.
Wow. I think we know who would win that.
Yeah, we know who will win. Cats, obviously.
Fatality.
But speaking of one last rapper before Kelly just bounces outside of this podcast, Logic announced his last album and his retirement from hip hop. And usually when people retire, it's usually because like no one's really messing with your music that much anymore. That's kind of like why you would retire.
Logic popped off like a couple years back, and then he's been kind of quiet.
Yeah, I don't know what it is about Logic that people don't like, but maybe it's that he's like he says he's black, but he looks completely white. I don't know what it's. I don't know.
He is. He's biracial. He's just like Halsey.
Yeah, I don't know, but I mean, Halsey's not trying to rap, but that's the thing, and he's a really good rapper. I think he's good, but not my cup of tea, I guess. But regardless, he is smart, I think, because he's signing with Twitch, and I think he's gonna do some type of like maybe a podcast, maybe a show, but like this is like Twitch's first time signing a music artist, so this is huge, and the money over at Twitch is a big deal, I think. So
yeah, because Twitch is known for, you know, live streaming. They're in the gaming world more than anything, you know, live streaming games. I have friends that go on Twitch and like watch a lot of people like live streaming video games or even like D&D sessions or stuff like that, nerdy shit. Or my favorite thing right now that a lot of people have been hopping on Twitch to do is live stream them playing the Nancy Drew video games, which was my shit back in the day. But yeah, this is like a whole different vibe because, you know, like live streaming, I think now, especially as we've like been living for months in an era where we can't go to concerts or can't like, you know, experience like our artists that same way. Like, I feel like a live streaming platform is like the natural next step for an artist. So, I mean, yeah, he's definitely.
And I think it's super smart that he like to announce a retirement and then also go into it like a plan, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, to be able to do something after retirement. So he's got already the next thing lined up to be able to make money and hopefully not to just lose following from his music, but to follow him over to Twitch or whatever he's going to do over there. So what else we got for quick hits, V?
All right, Justin Timberlake and Jessica Biel.
It's gonna be me. See? Some people call me the brown JT with the new blonde hair. That's what they're saying.
Oh my God. Stop it.
I know. But
But they welcomed a second child this past week, which is kind of big news because they were very quiet. They haven't really been
COVID,
photographed.
you can hide these things. You can hide a pregnancy in COVID. This is amazing. I love it. You know, people are really using their time wisely.
I grew up with Justin Timberlake posters, and that was my first kiss. Kissing my Justin poster. So I always have a deep love for him.
There was no strings attached.
So then were you torn up when like he was seen like canoodling with his co-star last year, like at the end of last year? Like,
you know, he's human. It wasn't the best look, and he apologized, and I felt like it was sincere, and I feel like he really shows his love for Jessica.
Yeah, I honestly,
That's
I feel like more
answer.
people would be like more understanding like that. You know, us here with a podcast, we kind of have to tear him one, but by the end of it, we're like, we understand, JT. You got JB, let's go. Like, but yeah, I mean, good for them. I mean, shoot, they must have. I mean, timing wise, they must have tried to like bump out this baby after that little debacle last year.
yeah, I'm thinking like if I'm like quick math is not my strong suit, but like 9 months from
9 months
Right.
ago.
Close to 10. Did you guys know like pregnancy is actually 10?
10 yeah,
why didn't you
gestation,
know?
like how you have to like actually count it out. Yeah.
40 weeks.
Unless
which
it's
is-
premature, but that's all. That's you know.
Right. One of my best friends is about to have a baby, and she's like, yeah, 39 to 40 weeks is full term. I'm like, why do we say 9 months then?
Yeah, it's. I think it's that buffer where you're just like. I think people like the idea of not knowing they're pregnant for a second. Like, I think you can get away with a lot, but like in that 1 month, so you're like, I didn't know. You know.
Oh my God.
We got anything else for quick hits?
Yeah, so there was some troll who uploaded a song to Spotify called Zayn Did 9/11, i.e. Zayn from One Direction. Yes.
Hell?
Okay, that sounds
Yes.
racist.
Was he like 7 at the time?
Zayn I think is probably around my age. So yeah, he was probably like 7 or 8 around the time of 9/11. Yeah.
So what's going on here?
So the
confused.
tea is that someone uploaded this song, so then it's been trending on Twitter for like people like being like, we got to remove this song from Spotify because like the song literally just has like just defaming lyrics that are like Islamophobic, and they have like, you know, like little like Islamic like chant things in it, and it's like Zayn did 9/11, Zayn did 9/11, like terrorize those people. Oh, it's like terrible. It's just
Jeez.
a terrible,
Who
terrible.
would even think of that?
I mean,
Just a troll, just trying to troll. And also, it's like coming up on the 10-year anniversary of One Direction, right? Like this week. So I'm sure they were like, this will be in the news if I like do this kind of shit.
that is super racist. Well, if that didn't make you go yikes this week, V, what else made you go yikes this week?
I mean, how could I not talk about just all things Kanye? Because Kanye in general this past week has just been yikes central. So to start off, you know, we talked about last week that he, you know, was not going to do his run for presidency, but he is going like state to state trying to like petition and see like if he can get on the ballot. I think he was able to get on Oklahoma's ballot. He did a rally in South Carolina, and I think he's trying to get on their ballot. And at the
I don't
rally,
think he did.
I don't think he did either, because in the rally in South Carolina, he talked about how Harriet Tubman didn't actually free slaves, and that she, you know, instead helped them get enslaved by other white people, which like if anybody like reads anything about history or whatever, like knows that that's like not true. Like she did fully free slaves and then actually like went back and helped like led special forces in the Civil War and all these
free.
things.
I mean, back then there was not like black-owned businesses, so the people she would have like free would have to go and work for white people, but like they were making money and stuff. So it's not like
and then
they would
she
go
also
be,
like led different things for like Civil War, right? Like she just did a lot of different stuff with like actually like work.
Have y'all seen the Harriet movie?
No, actually, that I might watch that tonight. Actually, just because I heard it was hardcore.
Oh my God, it's phenomenal.
Is it? All right, cool.
Yeah, it's very powerful.
Speaking of something, I want to get back to the Kanye thing, but like, has you guys seen Cursed on Netflix yet?
No.
Oh my God, dude. It stars the girl that played Hannah Baker in 13 Reasons, but it's like this whole like retelling of like Arthur, but before Arthur, she was like the one that had sword and stuff type stuff. And it's really freaking good. It's like, it's 10 episodes. It's called Cursed. If you like Game of Thrones, you're going to love this. It's like the #1 thing on Netflix right now. Someone was asking like, yo, what should I watch right now? I'm like,
is it really the #1 thing on Netflix right now?
I mean, it's a Netflix original, so it's very easy for Netflix to be like #1 thing, and that's what got me. When I saw that, I was like, let's watch. But I was pleasantly surprised. So speaking of things you should watch Cursed on Netflix. They don't pay me. This is not an ad, but just my opinion. But yes, Kanye was like, spitting rants at people in the crowd. Pretty much the only like black girl there that stood up for herself. Like he like demeaned her, but yet the white girl that he actually demeaned brought her up on stage and hugged her.
Yeah.
All this other stuff. And then he goes on like his Twitter rant.
Which like just he really unhinged on Twitter. And like we know that he was fully diagnosed, because I've had discussions with people and I've like, oh, he's bipolar, and they're like, oh, are you just like assuming that? And like I take mental health very seriously, and I'm like, no, like he's fully diagnosed, like he's talked about it, like I'm like, this is like fully like a bipolar episode, and like homeboy needs to get back on his meds. Like something needs to happen. And like he even like in his tweets was like talking about like, Kris Jenner and whoever is trying to have all these people on me, and like I wanted to divorce Kim because like she did this or that.
Well,
and,
it sounds like what he's making it sound like is what we talked about in the last episode or two about Britney Spears, like that 50-51 thing or whatever, where like you try to like whatever put control over somebody because they can't control themselves or whatever.
Yeah.
That's what he was essentially saying. And I don't know. They're so high profile that you really don't know what's going on behind scenes. It doesn't sound like Kim is doing anything anymore.
Well,
I think he's still like hurt by things like her sex tape and maybe her past marriages and love life and stuff. Kelly, what do you think?
I don't know if she did release it today, but I saw something today about her statement talking about that he, has the bipolar disorder, and that she hopes people take it seriously and don't make fun of it. Like this is an actual problem. And I mean, I don't want to misquote it because I just briefly read it.
I think it was a great
but
statement.
Basically talking about like that he needs help and they're trying to help him through it type thing, I believe.
Yeah, I think there's no real winning for Kim here. You know what I'm saying? I thought that was a great statement for someone that I don't think there's no winning for her. Like could have broken up with him for, how long have they been together now?
Oh, shit. Like, I don't know. Like, how old is North? They've been together for like
7 years?
5 or 6 or 7
6, 7 years
or
whatever. But regardless,
so
they even dated
probably
before
like
that.
8-9 years. Yeah.
But when it comes to like Kim, she could have left like for a bunch of different reasons before, but she stayed because obviously he has a mental health issue, but also that's like the father of her kids. She doesn't want another failed marriage, so she's been trying her hardest at whatever, and now this happens, at which point like you're gonna lose your whole everything for what? For him just like saying whatever he wants. Like, it's not like they're going to lose everything, but like everything they work for.
Yeah, it's really sad because just some of the quotes that I've seen from him, or not even quotes, but the news of like, apparently he doesn't want to take medication because he thinks it's just in God's hands.
Yeah, like hinders his creativity, he thinks, and all this stuff.
Yeah. So how do you help him if someone refuses to take the medication that will probably help them?
That's what she was saying, is that like you can only, unless the person's a minor, they can only want to help themselves, like that's just kind of it. Like I don't know, like I kind of struggle with my own like head and thoughts and stuff sometimes, and I just really think about like if you go too far deep one way, you really start thinking that people are against you, or you start thinking like he's just so backed in a corner that he probably just thinks like, what is he saying? Like, he's saying things about like Larsa Pippen. He's talking things about like.
He's talking things
Meek
about
Mill,
like abortion and like about like his mom.
killing
He's
his
just, I mean, like some of it's
daughter.
true.
Yeah, like
but,
being.
Kids, like,
Yeah.
I had to save my daughter's life. What
He
was
said
that
it a bunch
about?
of different ways. Like, I don't know what he's talking about. I think he's talking about abortion. Like, he's saying that
Oh,
like
gosh.
he saved her life by not getting aborted or something, which is crazy. That like to even put Kim's in like information
no.
out there like that. Like, you don't really talk like that. What's going on right now? So
And white supremacy too. Something about his children and white supremacy.
he's pretty much like trying to reach out to Kim or to Kris Jenner and be like, hey, are you gonna respond to my text or something? And she doesn't respond to him, and then she's like, this is white supremacy at like its finest or something.
Oh, gosh.
Like I
Seems a
just
stretch,
really
but
Yeah.
really wish there was a way to understand what his train of thought is, because he's so sporadic and stuff. But
I think
well, that's
the
like
bad
literally
part.
that's the problem. Yeah, is that
hold it
like,
down for
he
a second. My
can't-
computer's gonna die, so keep ducking.
But yeah, no, I think that's the problem. Is like we can't really track like what his thought process is, because like that's the that's how his mental illness works. And
There's no logic.
no, which is like why, like, if anybody were to like actually vote for him for presidency is like blows my mind, because like how could we ever have somebody, and like, I'm an advocate for like a functional person with mental illness, being in the office, like being a president in any form of government, and being like an advocate for like, this is something that I deal with and this is what I do. But like for someone like him that like refuses to do the necessary steps to like help himself, like it's like it'd be nuts to like
I
have
think
like
only
that.
people that would vote for him would be doing it as like a joke.
Which is like horrifying.
Horrifying.
As a joke, or just because they don't want to vote for the other people.
But
Right.
if you don't vote for, like, if you don't vote for Kanye, you're inherently voting for Trump.
Yeah.
I get the formula, but as far as I really don't think he's trying to be president. And if he was, there's no way it's gonna happen now. Like, and he's just promoting another album. He said he's promoting this album called Donda, named after his late mother, and
Which is also just like a low blow in general. Like, it's like, I feel like if this is what you're gonna do to like promote an album, like, is like say all this inflammatory stuff. I'm like, it's just annoying at this point.
Yeah, it really is. It's like a terrible way to have a rollout. So I really just hope he finds some type of help. Like, Dave Chappelle flew out there.
Yeah.
And he seemed in good spirits. Like, he's trying to get Dave Chappelle to tell a joke. He's like, dude, I flew out here to make sure you're all right. I'm not coming out here to
Yeah, like
tell
Dave
jokes.
Chappelle's like, yo.
Yeah.
Let me help you.
So yeah, I mean, it'll be very interesting. I've been seeing rumors that like Kim is looking for divorce lawyers right now, and stuff, which I wouldn't blame her. I mean,
I wouldn't blame her. I mean, and she's financially independent, so it's not like she needs him.
They both signed the prenup.
I would think it'd be stupid if they didn't. I'm pretty sure they did.
Yeah, but who's getting whose money though? That's what I'm trying to say. Who's richer? Kim?
Oh, that would be interesting to see.
I don't know, man, because like we've talked about how the Kardashians have like kind of fudged how rich they were to like get into Forbes and be whatever. So like, I mean, I think they're still like multi-millionaires, but none of them are actual billionaires, truly. So I don't know. That'd be interesting to see, pull the receipts on that one.
What do you think, if you were in Kim's position, what does one do?
That is so tough. As someone who's about to get married, I can't imagine.
They say till death do us part, through sickness and in health, like, all that
right,
stuff.
because like I was mentioning earlier, if someone refuses to get help, how can you can't expect someone to stay with their partner who is going through all this stuff and who is treating you a certain way and saying things about you and not willing to get the help to become more mentally healthy. That's just, they're not going through with their part of the vows of, to love and honor the other person if they're not willing to also get help to be healthy. Because if one person in the relationship isn't healthy, then the whole relationship isn't healthy. So it's like they both have to put in the work. And if one person isn't willing to put in the work, then it's just, what can you do?
Yeah, no, I think that's well said because I just think like, and I don't want to, you already got your things to worry about with your marriage, your upcoming wedding and stuff. So don't listen to me because I'm nowhere close to that. But the concept of marriage is pretty traditional. Like, in these days, I feel like traditions might be out the window, like sometimes when it comes to like self-happiness. I don't think people should stay together if they're unhappy. Like if there's a version of you out there that's happier than what this is, like I mean, your kids like will even understand. Like, I'm sure there are people that are listening right now have been through like having parents that you were just like, they hated each other. I just wish they like, and they were staying together for us. Like, hell no, dude, you just like made our lives miserable. Like, so it's like, I know that there's a version. It's a lot harder than, being said, but there's a lot of steps. Like, people get real comfortable in marriage, so it's hard for them to separate. But if you were to make steps and to have a conversation with your significant other, your husband, your wife, and you were just like, hey, there's a version of us that are happy, and I just might not be with us together, I've really, to me, when we go back to Kanye, in those tweets, he was saying, he's like, I've been trying to get a divorce from Kim since when? Since like she went to go do the Meek Mill thing or something like that.
Do the Meek Mill thing. So when was that? Like 2014, 2018, 2018.
Yeah, and people were saying that they were there at the meeting, never even alone. So like this guy is like, I don't know what he's thinking in his head, like, about Meek Mill. I don't know what he's like inferring there, but he's got issues. Like, he's saying things like, Kris Jenner pimped out Kim's like sex tape and all this stuff.
Yeah, sex tape, made sure that she was on the cover of Playboy, like all this stuff.
Why would he be bringing back all these things from the past?
He even wasn't like dating her at that time.
Yeah.
Like,
because he's got mental health issues. Like that's the only reason why somebody would, unless like, beknownst to any of us, like Kim's out there just like throwing it around, like, which I don't think she is anymore. Like I think she's too buttoned up for this stuff. Like she's a mom, like she's got businesses, like she's got Kanye who's gonna like at any moment just like turn on her, like so it's like I'm sure she's living on eggshells, but also I'm not gonna give like too much of a cut to the Kardashians and the Jenners and stuff because like they're a powerhouse of like churning. Like that's not a place where I think like you get help from mental illness when that's your only family. I don't know. Like I mean I don't mean to talk shit about their family, but they just got too many issues like that probably affect him and vice versa, and just becomes this like.
And I can't imagine dealing with mental illness being that famous. Like, wow. When the spotlight is on you and every move you make is criticized, and then having to deal with an illness on top of that must be even way more of a struggle.
And try to sell things, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, try to be like an artist, try to be all these things when you have like personal illnesses that you're dealing with. Like, it's just like, how do you juggle all that? I don't think you should. I don't think but
or if you do, you should probably be using tactics that actually like are more helpful to you than not. Like, I'm not saying meds work for everybody, but they definitely work for a lot of people, or other forms of something of coping.
Yeah, just like, when I read Kim Kardashian's statement, I thought it was, definitely safe, but I think it wasn't for all the things that Kanye has been saying about her, and I'm sure she had a team of people help write her this, but for all the things that he'd been saying about her, like it was pretty like neutral, like she was like, and also made him sound good. So like I mean, like she's always gonna have his back. I feel like I didn't feel like there was anything gaslighty about it. He probably took it as that, like, oh, but like I didn't think it was like she's had any backhanded comments in there or anything like that. It was just very like, if you know somebody that has this, this is what you would deal with, and there's not much I can do. Like I've tried to do everything I could, but like he's his own man, and he has control of his own life apparently right now. So, but who knows? Maybe they all know what they're doing. This is not the first time that they've done some crazy circus like this ahead of, or something. So, But
Yeah.
let's get out of like our yikes stuff. And why
That
don't
was
we,
yeah. That was it. We did a deep dive.
yeah. But it's important because like there's mental health things and stuff in there, and I think it's super important to talk about those things. But why don't we get into our guest, that we introduced earlier? But a little recap. Kelly Johns. I saw you online randomly, so like we didn't know each other or anything like that. This is kind of how the show works. So we're like, she would be dope for the show. Would she be a guest? And you were like, hell yeah. We're like, let's do it. So I kind of want to dive into what your life has been like. It's been like probably like what, a year since you started doing these videos, and the videos really consist of you doing like impersonations of all the contestants on like The Bachelor, and the best ones are like usually on the first episode when you can kind of get like really good things from all the girls, and so tell us a little how you got into that, how you got into Bachelor, but also you're obviously got talent for acting and performing and stuff, and so let us know a little bit about Kelly Johns.
All right. Well, thank you for that intro.
Yeah, of course.
I've been doing the Bachelor videos since Colton's season, so about a year and a half now. And I just did it for his first night. Like you said, those are like super fun with all the girls introducing themselves. So I just made like a parody of it and just exaggerated everything and made it super goofy. And people liked it and asked me to start doing it for every episode. So I did. And then I evolved into like also dressing up as Colton, which then led me into do the Bachelorette season, which is obviously all guys and one girl. So that was fun doing, like, I would put on facial hair with like eyeliner and eyeshadow, and played Hannah Brown. And people tell me that was like my best impersonation with the Southern accent.
Yeah.
And then did Bachelor in Paradise. I've been doing it every season. It's very time consuming, but it's worth it because people tell me like it makes their day. And one woman reached out to me and she said she was doing like therapies for I think she had a brain tumor, and told me that like I was the best part of her day, and that everything like, yeah. And I literally was crying. I'm like, okay, it takes me like over 10 hours every week to do a video, but just that makes it worth it.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I want to talk about that a little bit more. I'm not gonna lie, I like to do a little research, so I'm not just completely going blind into. So it's like, how does he know all this stuff about this girl? But I read a couple articles. But essentially, what we do here too, it's like no one puts a gun to our head to like do a podcast every week and stuff.
Yeah.
So we know what it's like to do this right now, and then afterwards have to edit, and the pre-planning that goes into it and all that stuff, and the promotion of it, and keeping up with comments, and then just to like have to do it again. It's kind of like a rat race. But like when it comes to this, I feel like the similarity between what we do and what you do is that like we were smart enough to pick a topic that kind of just feeds us inspiration to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If a week goes by where Bachelor's on, even if we had nothing else to talk about, at least we could talk about The Bachelor and the tropes inside of that. And
Yes.
It looks like you have fuel always for your fire when there's reality shows for days and stuff.
For sure. And I've been watching this show since season 1.
Right.
So,
Oh, wow.
So you're an OG.
OG.
Well,
I
damn,
was
like
8 years old.
you can't be that old. Like,
I'm 27, so I started watching when I was literally 8.
wow,
That's
incredible.
crazy.
Yeah, my
We got a
mom,
baby.
we would watch together. I turned out all right. It wasn't too scandalous for me, I guess. But yeah, it's been a part of my life for like my entire life.
Wow.
So now to be making videos and to have connected with so many people through The Bachelor and like some of the contestants as well, they've been so supportive. Like my videos would not have gotten the attention that they've gotten without some of the contestants sharing, because they have such big platforms. So I'm so grateful for that.
Yeah.
Like who?
And then, like
Yeah,
you
I was gonna
said,
say like who, like name a couple people that follow you.
Name drop.
a lot. It just depends on the season. So usually like, with Colton, Demi would share. Hannah Brown actually followed me on Twitter.
Nice.
Demi follows me. Nicole Lopez, I love her.
Yeah.
She's like, we become like actual friends through Instagram.
Oh, cool. Get her on the podcast with us here soon.
She's awesome. And she lives in Miami.
Yeah.
She speaks Spanish, so you got to brush up on her.
I know.
Yeah.
Let's have a little bilingual episode.
And
FUTURE Bachelor. I don't know. See, I don't even know how to say
Tanner,
it.
they have their adorable kids.
Yes.
And Jade has shared. So like a lot of amazing people that have really helped get more attention to my videos. So I'm super appreciative of that because like we touched on, it takes me so much time. So it's nice to have a wider audience to view.
Yeah.
And I also, I've been acting all my life as well, almost. I started doing theater in 5th grade. And when I was 15, my mom got me signed with a talent agent that I'm still with.
Wow.
So I've just auditioned for TV and film ever since then. My first big thing was The Blind Side. Have you guys seen it?
Wow. Yeah.
Hold on,
So
the movie?
Yes, the movie.
Okay.
The football movie with Sandra Bullock.
Yeah. See, I'm not a huge sports guy, but I still knew that.
I'm a huge sports girl,
The
so I
Blind
love
Side,
that
it's
movie.
like that football player that lived with that family. Is that the Sandra Bullock one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Have you
See?
seen it?
No, I haven't seen it. I just like read a lot of Wikipedia.
Right. I've seen it.
I'm gonna watch it tonight. Or where do I find you? At what minute mark?
It's like 45 minutes, I want to say.
Okay, cool.
It's almost halfway-ish, but I have one line. I had 2 scenes and one got cut.
That always
that
happens.
was like I learned that you never know if your scenes are going to make it until you see the movie.
Right.
Like they don't tell you in advance.
I've heard,
So-
and you'll be at like the opening and stuff, excited to
Yes.
see yourself in the movie, and then they cut you out.
So they had an Atlantic Station premiere here in Atlanta, and so I got to go. And the main character, Big Mike, played by Quentin Aaron, he actually like walked me in, and like I took photos with him, and he's such a sweetheart. And then I'm sitting there watching the movie, and my first scene was supposed to be in the cafeteria. So they start the cafeteria scene, and then once it's supposed to go to me and the 2 other girls with Lily Collins and me and the other actors, it's just cut. And I'm like, oh God, what? Like,
You're like, oh no.
That was
Did
an
you go with a
option.
date? Because that would have sucked. Or your
And
mom,
so
like.
then they, thank God, kept the library scene, which
Right.
is what I'm in. So I have my one line, where are you going?
Dude, that was really good.
So people at my high school would like follow me on the hallways and say that. And
Oh man, that sucks.
it's my 4 famous words.
Where are you
And-
going?
Yeah.
It's like,
Have you guys seen the movie Game Night?
Yes.
yes.
You have seen that
No,
one?
no, I
Brad?
haven't seen it. I know of it
Come
though.
on.
No, which one is Game Night now?
We're like writing you up a note of all these.
Hold on. Game Night is the one where they like go on like a murder like
Yeah.
mystery type thing. Yeah, I've seen it. I think. Yeah,
Okay.
I've seen a lot of
So-
movies. It's blending into each other these days.
In that film, at the beginning, when Ryan, he's like kind of the dumb guy.
Yeah.
They do flashback to all of like the blonde bimbos that he brings every week.
Mm-hmm.
And I was the 3rd flashback.
Bimbo number 3.
And I was super racist. My character, so we're playing Taboo, and his description, the answer is Navy SEALs. So he's describing it going, okay, these are a very powerful group of people, the elite. And I say, white people.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
it's that. But it's just my character, everyone.
Yeah, it
I
didn't
don't
age well.
really
It
feel that
didn't
way.
age well. I always think about the characters that have to play in Django. I'm like, geez, you're forever. I think we've talked about it on this show, but like where it's
Oh,
like
God.
you're forever on camera, like being racist. It'll probably be taken out
we
of
watched
context.
That like 2 weeks ago. I had never seen it, and I watched it with my fiance, and I was like, "Oh my God!" As an actor, that must have been the hardest role in the world. Like Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
Unless you
Yeah.
really like saying that word and you just got like the role of a lifetime. But
I would hope not.
I know.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
But yeah, so well, that's incredible. That's a cool little insight behind that. When it comes to The Bachelor, I also saw that you don't just do Bachelor stuff. Like I saw one of your biggest videos that got the most views was the Love Is Blind, like your impersonation of Jessica.
Yeah,
We
that was
definitely did a little hate on this show a couple of months back when the show was on and stuff. But I thought your impersonation was pretty spot on.
Thank you. I was very surprised at the the views that got on that video, because I was kind of late to watching Love is Blind, but people kept telling me, oh, you have to watch. Oh my gosh, you should do a recap of that. And I didn't want to do all the characters because that felt like a lot.
Yeah.
So I just focused on Jessica, and yeah, it blew up. And I was like,
I think you just got it because, like, even us, we were talking about it. Everyone just wanted to hate on her. She was like the hateable person on the show, and you know, not like I say hate, but that actually brought me like to a question that I didn't know if it was fair to ask or not. But do you ever feel like sometimes it's like do you ever get like comments like it's bullying, or do you like you're making fun of people or anything like that?
I've gotten I want to say I've only gotten one. And it was for Jessica, never for The Bachelor.
Yeah.
It was one girl with Jessica saying, like, she was nice. She was saying, you know, hey, this like might be rude. And I was like, I try to find a balance in that very fine line of not being hateful and just taking exactly what they say, because most of the time I'm doing almost exact quotes.
Yeah. It's parody.
So I'm just taking literally what's on the show and being goofy.
Right. It's like saying people on Saturday Night Live are bullies. Like, you know,
yeah. And I actually got a message from Christina Schulman, who is on The Bachelor. She was on Nick's season, and she's been on Paradise. And so I reenacted her on one of the Paradise seasons, and she actually messaged me and said, thank you for doing this tastefully and not like being mean about it.
That's awesome.
She definitely went through the ringer. I remember that season. She was like, it was hardcore for her.
Yeah. And so I tried to whenever there's like a really deep or like emotional thing, you know, someone's parent, they're talking about their parents dying or going through like a miscarriage or something super emotional, I don't cover that. I keep that out. I try to just keep it very light. And if I'm making fun of something, it's something just goofy and not serious. So with her, you know, she's from Russia. So I tried to like do her accent without it being offensive. And for her to tell me that like, she thought it was hilarious, and she thought I did a good job at finding that.
Yeah, that's a hard one. That's really hard because that her accent is so easy to make it sound like you would be making fun of like a Russian accent.
Right. Yeah. And I totally suck at that. Like, I cannot do a Russian accent. Really, the only accent I can do is like Southern and British.
Yeah.
I need to work on my accents for sure.
You do.
But yeah, that felt nice, and it felt good to know like other contestants were sharing it, so they appreciated it too.
Yeah.
So yeah, I try to keep it just lighthearted and not hateful, because I know it's highly edited.
Right.
Yeah. And I know they're real people, and even if they might say some crazy things on the show, it could be like maybe they said it on week 1 and then they're putting that on week 5 episode where it doesn't fit the context. Mm-hmm. So yeah.
Well, you always want them in on the joke. Like that's like, I feel like that's what you do well, is like you want whoever to be like in on the joke with you. And I feel like, you know, a lot of these Bachelor contestants or whatever, like they go on and they know that like if they go on not thinking like, you know, how things are going to be construed, then they're just kind of like they're on their own. But like they know like what's going to happen, and like, you know, for them being so on board for what you do is like really like credit to you, because it's like like they're in on the joke that I'm making, because like so many of them could get like super insecure and just be like I hate this.
My favorite tweet probably ever was from Demi, and she retweeted my video one week, and she was like, "This bitch Kelly Johns is the most hilarious bitch. You gotta follow her." And I was like, "Yes, thank you, Demi."
Dude, that's huge.
That's the best person to call you a bitch. I'm sorry.
Right.
I would die to have Demi call me a bitch. I'd be like, please.
Dude, that might be the title. Die to be called a bitch. But that's cool. Well, there are a couple things before we get into like, you know, your personal life. You know, you talked about being engaged within the last year and stuff, but we'll get into that here soon. I kind of wanted to ask you, like, as being doing these videos and stuff, how do you see the difference between putting videos on YouTube or putting videos on social media? Like, what are the differences there? I would feel like you probably have more traction on your social media, but like, what are those differences? Why is it so different on these one platforms, but like it's so hard to get views on the other?
I wish I knew. So My Instagram is definitely where I get the most views. I would think it's because that's just where more people my age go. Like, I don't really go to YouTube. My fiance randomly will scroll YouTube, which I didn't think people did anymore. But
I'm a big
he
YouTuber.
does
I'm
that.
actually
So I know
thinking of
people,
getting like the where you get it ad free, just because I watch it so much now. I'm like, dude, straight up like
I
ad
feel
free
like
would be worth it.
I feel like men watch YouTube more than women. I don't know. I'm
yeah,
sure
I feel
there's
like they
plenty
do
of
too.
studies on that.
So I feel like maybe my Instagram does so much better because that's just a more popular place to go. So I get way more views on Instagram and Twitter than I do YouTube. I want to also guess that it's because people share very easily on Instagram and Twitter, like just retweet or share to your story, versus YouTube, you can't like repost to
Right.
your profile, you know?
Yeah.
Right.
So, for instance, like with a normal Bachelor video, I was getting like on Twitter when Reality Steve would retweet and it was an actual Bachelor Bachelorette season, I would get like sometimes 100,000 or more views.
Wow.
Um,
So you had Reality
versus
Steve even retweeting you.
yeah, he's awesome.
Amazing.
Versus YouTube would get like 3,000. So
Uh,
it's like a huge difference. And then my
That's crazy.
Instagram, again, it would depend just on the week. The Jessica video got over 50,000 on Instagram versus I don't remember it doing very well on Twitter, but then it did well. That was my biggest YouTube video.
Right.
But it took a while. It was so random. I posted it and like for 2 weeks it was at like 1,000 views. So I was like, okay, cool. And then out of nowhere, I got on and it was at 20,000.
Don't you
Weird.
love YouTube?
So I just wondered, like, which person shared it to where it got all this exposure. I had
Yeah, or
no
like how did it get picked up in like SEO
I just think
or
people
something?
were straight up hating her for like a good 2 weeks. Like it was like
guess
it was
so.
like the popular. It was like, you know, Kim and Kanye this week. It was like hate on Jessica from Love Is Blind for like 2 weeks. But
Yeah.
you know, lastly, I just kind of wanted to I mean, your following went from I think I read like your following went from like what 2,000 to now like up to 16,000 like on Instagram and stuff. Like, was that gradual or did you see it like overnight?
Oh, it was very gradual. It took this whole year and a half, but it was thanks to people sharing. So it was organic for sure, but thanks to people like Jade, Reality Steve, and all these people retweeting and giving support, and like Christina Schulman, Nicole, Demi, all these people. And there have been so many more that I'm so grateful to, because when they would post on their page, 300,000 plus people would see their story, and then a small percent of those would come to my page. But yeah, it was very gradual. Every season would pick up a few more thousand, and then it just added up. But I also, unfortunately, have lost a lot with The Bachelor being off. So I feel like people are really quick to just peace out when the show's not on, because that's what they follow
That's
me
what they're
for, which I
looking for,
totally
yeah.
get. But also, they know that I'm going to keep doing it when the show's back on. And I've done a couple of the greatest of all times
Yeah.
videos. So
I saw the
it's
one
a
that you did
little-
for the OGs with the giant suits was hilarious.
I try to not get like discouraged, because I don't want to be that person that's like so obsessed with my follower count, because that's not why I'm there.
I
Like,
can tell. Like, you know, the thing is that I was gonna like kind of my last question I had here was like, do you feel like the pressure to always like? I feel like that's why I would never want to get on the TikTok train, because I feel like there's a pressure to always have another TikTok. You know what I'm saying? I've kind of gotten to the point on Instagram where it's not like every post has to beat the last post type thing, where it's just like I'm just gonna push out like things, and eventually it'll just be like a a culmination of all those things. But like I feel like there's a pressure when you become like what you're doing. Like, you know, you said it takes like 10 hours for every video.
Yeah.
You know, at what point do you feel like it, like, is it worth it, or do you truly enjoy it? You know, all those things.
Yeah, it's been tough, because when some weeks, like with Listen to Your Heart, they just had less viewership overall of
Yeah.
the show, which meant less people watched my videos. But I still put in the time, because I am really grateful that these people follow me and share like really nice comments. And I want to still be active, because as an actor, obviously it's much different being in like a film than making these silly parody videos. But I feel like any exposure is good exposure.
Right.
And if I'm making one person laugh and making them smile for the day, like it sounds so corny, but it's worth it. Like that's what I want to do with my Instagram and my videos is just entertain people and try to bring some light into their day because there's so much crap going on. So there is pressure for sure because like I was saying, watching my followers go down a little bit makes me think, okay, what am I doing wrong? Like, but at the same time with like Black Lives Matter and I'm pretty vocal about how I feel and I'm not afraid to stand up for what I believe in. And, of course, some people disagree with those things. I don't understand why people disagree with equality, but they do. And so I think that made some people peace out. But it's interesting because like just posting a picture of myself that's like not Bachelor related, or if it's not a video, I'll see people unfollow.
Yeah, I was actually looking
really
into
weird.
those type of like trains of thought. Like it is weird because, and not just that, but like it could be opposite. Like or say like a girl always posts pictures of herself. Like I mean, you've talked about it before, Veronica. Like you'll post a picture in your bikini, and it's like likes. But you post one of like you just in front of like a nice mural.
Me and
everyone's
like
just
my brothers, like they don't give a shit.
Oh
Like,
hell no, dude! I would be like swipe past, like saying block. No, I'm just joking. But I there are people that just that's the way you interact with this thing. You're just like, I don't know why. Like I don't know what that is, but I think you hit a good point as far as you being an actor. I think it's genius to be able to do these type of things, and that's why I'm not necessarily like I want to be a radio personality or any type of personality. I think I'm good at it, but every week that we do this, it gives like weeks and weeks and weeks of practice and experience and proof that like I do this. If someone could look at me every week and be like, he comes up with this content, she comes up with this content, like we need to just like put them on a show, like and I think that's a smart thing that you're doing with your videos and what you're doing and stuff. So I would say keep it up. Definitely branch out like you're doing with other things, try to figure out what the new hot thing that people are like talking about. Maybe it's Cursed on Netflix. Obviously it's number one on there.
You love to push whatever is your current Netflix show.
I like
you're
to be a tastemaker.
Maybe it's whatever.
I like to be a tastemaker.
And the last part too, it's like the connections you make. I'm sure you guys have met so many cool people that you would have never met without doing this podcast.
Right.
And same
You're
with
one of
my
them.
videos. It's like, it's such a cool way to connect with people like around the world.
With similar interests.
Yeah.
That like I was saying, me and you and Veronica all like The Bachelor. If you didn't do those videos and we didn't do this podcast, we wouldn't be talking here about like all like these things. So it's definitely Veronica. Why don't we talk about a little bit of her personal life or what she's able to indulge with us?
Yeah, no, so I wanted to first ask, like, what does your fiance think about, like, when you do these videos? Does he help in any way, or, like, what are his thoughts?
He does not help. He's very supportive, and he watches them, and he thinks that I'm great, and
what about when you're, like, got the mustache and the tall, like, Steve Harvey
it's
suits?
So funny. So we moved in together in January. So like last year when I did the videos, I wasn't around him with like the facial hair.
Yeah.
But now I'll like go up to him and try to kiss him. He's like, oh God, I can't. Like he's like so turned off by it. It's hilarious. So I'll like do it on purpose to like get up in his face. Or if I have like a crazy wig on and like huge lips, and he definitely appreciates my natural side more. So he gets a little freaked out with all the makeup. But no, he's very supportive. I cannot get him into the show though. And I think I've given up. We've been dating for 5 years and he still just says, nope, I'm not interested. I'm sorry. And I'm like,
well, hold on
okay.
a second. So I love how you guys are like, this is like a talk like where you guys, it sounds like I have way worse talks with like my friends, but you guys make this bachelor talk sound like it's such a serious note in your relationship. Hey,
It's
look,
very
I'm
serious.
sorry. I can't do it. Like, come on, just give it one more try. Just,
It's kind of good though, because like it's kind of good that we have our own interests. Like he
Yeah.
goes golfing. I don't really care to go golf with him.
Yeah.
And I have The Bachelor and it's my own thing. So
Yeah.
it's okay.
What does he say? Like, all right, so obviously, I just kind of before we keep asking, but like, it's cool because I'm like a guy that got into it from my ex-girlfriend. So it's like, to me, it was just like, I was so obsessed with her that I was like, I'll watch anything. And then like, and then it was just
Right?
good. Like, I was like, I got sucked into it.
And I feel like he would get sucked in if he just gave it a shot, but he
you get him on a
refused
first episode. You get him on like a Bachelor in Paradise. Like you got to get him in full. Like you got to get him at a Bachelor,
tried.
Bachelorette.
I've tried for
I've
5 years.
Yeah, like I never thought I would be a Bachelor person, but I honestly, and it's like I feel like it really depends on like how you're watching it. Like I don't watch it because I'm like, this is true love. Like I really like I watch it for the human experiment, social experiment element, but that's just funny. But it's like, yeah, you're like, it's Monday night. This is my thing.
I watch with my girlfriends. So it's like
Perfect.
a nice girlfriend night with me and my friends, and he can do his own thing. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you said that you got engaged back in December, but so you guys were gonna have like kind of a quick turnaround wedding then, because you were gonna get married this summer. Like,
Yeah.
what was your actual wedding date? Like, wasn't it recently?
Yes. So I'm a planner and I love just getting things done. I did not like the idea of waiting it out. So we had our original date was June 26th. And back in March, when everything with COVID happened, we were thinking, okay, June, like this will totally be over by June.
We all thought that.
I thought it would be like a month of COVID. And then April comes and it's getting horrible. And clearly we can see that June probably won't be okay. So we decided to move it 2 more months to end of August, thinking that surely it would be cleared up by then. Well, that's not the case
Can't
again.
even plan a trip. You know what I'm saying?
So we are having to think right now of what we should do.
Are you guys just like, let's just get married?
Well, we're going to get married, yes. Yeah. We just can't decide if we should keep the wedding at the August date or push it like a full year, because we have a lot of family from out of town on both sides.
Yeah.
And majority of them can't come because, traveling is so tough right now. And a lot of them are older or like little kids that one of them has asthma, and like we totally understand. But at the same time, we want them there. Like, we don't look back at pictures and see that half of them couldn't make it and be reminded of like these really tough times. So it's been really tough. But at the same time, some of the experts say that things aren't going to be better in a year. So it's like,
yeah, I'm so sorry.
There's
like,
literally no right answer or like easy choice to make.
I think it'd be interesting to see like how. I mean, this is just one example of things that just might need to change moving forward. Like, like I don't know what it is, but like it just like the whole thing, just like kind of like we're talking about changing all the cops, like, reforming everything. Yeah. There might just need to be a reform in weddings. Like, it just doesn't seem
a wedding reform.
Yeah, there has to be something has to change, because obviously we're talking about not even being able to get people like together. And if you're talking about the amount of people you want, we're talking about what, like 200 people? You know what I'm saying? Like
we invited like 180, so we were expecting before COVID, we were expecting like 150 or less. Yeah. Now we're not even expecting probably 100, which is still a lot of people with what's going on. But it's just a big bummer because some people are like, oh, you don't need a big wedding. Trust me. Like, I didn't even like mine. I'm like, well, it is what I want, because it's the one day out of our entire lives when all of our friends and family will be together to celebrate us. There will be no other time.
That's so sad. Isn't that like so sad to think about though? Like, just your wedding day is the only time you can get all these people together.
Yeah. But like, that's just how it is.
Or your funeral and you're not even there.
The fact that now we can't have that is just shitty.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. That's something that, like, I was just thinking about, I'm like, damn, I should have gotten that girlfriend before COVID. Like, I should have just picked one. Like,
Brian,
now it's like there's no more girlfriends out there, so it's like I'm single for the rest of my till death and I'm parted. So it's just
No.
yeah. No, I know.
Ryan
I'm just
joke last night though. He's like, I should have just proposed to you earlier, and then we could
I
have been married.
know. See, it's all
Yeah,
his
buddy,
fault.
you
You
should
know.
have jumped on it.
You're like, yeah, man, you should have. You're like, you could have proposed to me earlier.
Well, how long did you guys date?
Almost. So March was our 5 years. So he proposed like a little bit before 5 years.
Wow,
So, yeah.
holy cow! So did you guys? You went to school? Did you guys meet in school?
Somehow we did not. We both went to University of Georgia. He's 2 years older, but when we did meet, we realized that like his roommates, I used to hang out with downtown, but
Wow.
somehow I didn't know he existed. And he played baseball, and one of my good friends from high school was on the baseball team too. And I would hang out with him, and I just literally had never heard of Brian, never seen him. And I just think it's because we just were too immature at the time.
Yeah.
It would not have worked if we met back then, I think. So
Timing
we
is
met
everything.
when I was a senior, and he had been out of school for 2 years. So we were older. Like,
So what
I mean, I was still
what is the
young.
love story? What like how'd you guys?
So I have a teaching degree, and I was student teaching, and I was placed at this random high school. And one day, people were talking about the new hot substitute.
Ooh.
And so he was like in
So
the
this
hallway.
is what goes on at the watering holes.
Yes.
But fountains.
And
Water
I
fountains?
introduced myself, and I was super awkward. I was just said, "Hi, I'm Kelly," and he was like, "Hi, I'm Brian," and I didn't know what else to say because I was so nervous, so I walked away.
I've been there.
Like,
You're like the
so-
time is 11:47. She's like what?
This coffee, yeah.
and then like 2 days later, the teacher that I worked under was absent for the day, so legally there had to be a sub in the room because I was still a student teacher. And so the sub lady knew that Brian, like, he asked her about me, like, who's this Kelly girl? And so she purposefully put him in my classroom as the sub. And all the high school girls were like, "Oh my God, y'all are going to get married. Are y'all dating already?" And I was like, I just met him. I don't know anything about him.
Oh my
But
god.
I guess they could see that we were meant to be.
They're a lot
and then
smarter than
he-
that they're saying. You know, they should pay teachers more, huh?
Right?
Yeah.
And then he asked me out a couple days later, and it was the most romantic first date. He picked me up with roses and took me to dinner in downtown Athens, which is where our college is. And then afterwards took me to this little park on North Campus, and he had like a blanket laid out with a speaker playing In Sync because I had mentioned to him that was my favorite.
Which song?
So, oh my gosh.
I drive
he
myself crazy. Drive myself crazy.
Almost. Even better, he played God Must Have Spent a Little More Time.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So
That's
our
my
first
favorite one.
date.
I don't know why. dude.
First date. He was not playing games.
That's
He
my
was all
line
in.
sometimes. The girls, oh, God must have spent a little more time on you. And then they know I'm
Right.
like ridiculous. But no, it worked for Aaron. So, or Brian.
So,
Is it Brian?
Brian.
Brian.
So
Wow.
that's our first dance. And that's where he took me to propose, was that same spot.
Are you guys,
So-
that's going to be your first dance?
Yeah.
God.
That's
That
good.
just,
So good.
I like both Sai and I are so single right now. So like that just like took a number on my heart. I'm
Both
like,
of
wow,
us.
loving.
I know. You want to go
loving
meet in the
this.
park and dance to some In Sync V? God.
Yes, do
Oh
it.
man, no, we gotta find other people. But
No shade.
that's what we do here on the show. But no, that is romantic. I do you guys ever have like smart offs? Do you guys ever like try to see who's like the better teacher?
So he's not a teacher.
Oh.
People think that. So he was just a substitute for literally like 2 months because
So substitutes are not teachers. They're just people that just like fill in the desk of the teacher.
Oh yeah, anyone.
Yeah.
You can go be a substitute if you want.
Yeah.
Hell yeah! Are there other like single teachers out there?
Oh my God.
This
Go
sounds like
find
a
your
new
love
app
story.
idea. Let me write this down.
But he just was trying to get some extra cash before he went on a Europe trip.
Mm.
And now he owns his own company here in Atlanta.
That's
so
very
totally
cool.
not a teacher.
Wow. Well, yeah, that's got to be kind of like crazy times, like trying to think about the future and stuff. Like, I mean, I think
Yeah.
about even after that, like trying to even think about having like kids during these times and stuff. It's just like super scary.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm not prego.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, What's the future like? What do you see the future like being for your career and everything? Like, what are you hoping for?
So I actually luckily just signed with an LA manager. So that means that I'll be submitted for auditions out there as well.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Beforehand, I have my
Congratulations.
Southeast agent. Thank you. So I'm submitted for stuff here in the Southeast, but now there's so much. Even if they film in Atlanta, a lot of the times they still cast out of LA.
Yep.
So it's just going to be better opportunities for me to have representation in both cities. Things have picked up a tiny bit. I've had a couple auditions. I had one for a lead role. It was like 9 pages of lines for the audition, which I love because you can actually like show what you're made of instead of a 2-liner,
Yeah.
which I'm still, grateful for any audition, any part, like to book a part. I'm sure you guys know, but like so many people go up for a role that maybe has 1 line. Like they're going to audition sometimes hundreds of people for that 1-liner. So it's very competitive. It's very hard. So if you book anything, like it is a big deal. So right now things are picking up a little bit, still not really. Like my callback was on Zoom, and that's just tough because you can't make those in-person connections. And really, we'll just have to wait and see until like COVID calms down and we get productions really start coming back. And it's definitely a bummer all around. But everyone is struggling in every area of life. So
Yeah.
trying to make
cool,
it.
It's a cool moment to try to like reinvent yourself, I think, too, or reinvent like your habits and new things. Like I like what we were saying before, as far as maybe you losing a couple followers here and there from time to time. I think being an actor probably prepares you so much for rejection and those type of things, right?
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like people ask, like when I have an audition, they're like, "Oh, when will you find out if you get it?" And I'm like, "You don't find out. You just, if you don't get the part, you hear nothing."
Yeah.
So you just have to go into it expecting to hear nothing. Expect the worst, hope for the best.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was thinking of being an actor, but it's making me real nervous right now.
It's a lot. I mean,
yeah.
but hey, you have the look for sure and the
Thank
personality.
you. Oh my
should go
goodness.
for it.
Wow, you're so great.
Wow,
We're
you're just
definitely
gonna
have
like
to have
make
you
his
back.
head so big though.
Hat's getting tight, but I mean, also I think it comes with. I mean, you've been doing it for so long, like acting and doing that stuff. Like, do you still get like nervous, or like, or do you push through those things? Like, how do you deal with like nervousness and all that?
Yeah, I definitely get nervous. Like the callback I had last week, I was nervous for sure because it was so unknown too. Like I had never had a callback on Zoom, so I just didn't know what that would be like. And oh, for sure, every time there's like an in-person audition, it's always some excited nerves. But so many casting directors are so different. So sometimes they'll be like, "Oh wow, great job, thank you so much," or sometimes they're like, "Okay, thanks, bye." And you're like, "Did I suck?" Yeah, and sometimes they'll ask you to do it a different way. So then you're like, "Oh my God, did I like do it how they wanted?" There's just very little feedback most of the time.
Yeah.
So that's where the mentality of like, well, just I gave it my all, have no idea what to expect, but hey, if I hear something great, if not, now on to the next one.
Well,
On to the next.
I think I
Yep.
see a lot of big things in your future. You're an awesome
Thank
person
you.
and stuff. And V,
For
did you have
sure.
any more questions for Kelly?
No, I think, I think that's pretty much it. I guess like my quick question would be like, have you seen, like more Bachelor related, have you seen the news that Colton, since Colton was the first season that you started doing, that he's supposedly dating Lucy Hale, an actress?
Whoa.
Yeah. I saw that, the hiking photos.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it seems kind of quick, but also we don't know exactly when he and Cassie broke up. I feel like they broke up a few months ago and didn't tell the public until recently.
Yeah.
So, hey, do your thing, Colton.
Lucy Hale is super hot, but I just saw her in this one movie that was like, it was like something Island.
So, oh yeah, what is it called?
It's like Treasure Island or like Hidden Island or something like that.
It's something. It's like terror. It's like something
Fantasy
like scary.
Island. Fantasy Island. That's
Fantasy Island. Yeah.
But I was like, damn, Lucy Hale's doing these movies now. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. But hey, if you get anything, it's a good thing, right? We just learned that. But Kelly, do you want to like let them know where to find you on Instagram and where to find your stuff, and let them know where to see your videos?
Yes. So my Instagram is Kelljohns, KELLJOHNS, because there's some woman out there that has the username Kelly Johns, and she doesn't ever post. And I've asked her if I can have her username, and she didn't respond. I think it's like an account that's literally just sitting there.
Yeah, she's like, the same thing happened with Future Bachelor. That's why we're the Future Bachelor. It's annoying as hell. There should be like a time limit, or at least like an
there
option
usually
at
is.
some point.
It's kind of it's tricky though. Yeah.
It's like maybe in 3 years they'll want to be the Future Bachelor again. I don't know, but
yeah. So Kel Johns on Instagram. My YouTube is Kelly Johns Official, and my TikTok as well. And my YouTube, TikTok, and Facebook are all in Kelly Johns Official. And then my Twitter is Kelly M. Johns, because my middle name is Marie. So they're all a little different because on the different platforms, like some of the names are taken, so I can't get them all the same, which is annoying.
It's super annoying. But you Google Kelly Johns and you're gonna find all her stuff. That's how I found out so much
about her. And we'll be
her.
tagging her, obviously.
Yeah, like how did I know she knew Spanish? I don't know, but I did.
Yeah.
And that she's from Canton, so that's cool.
Where did you see that?
It was like, I think it was like your hometown newspaper or something did like an article on you or whatever. She's from Canton, so I was like, all right.
Yeah, shout out Canton.
I didn't get this far without doing my research, you know what I'm saying? But I definitely want to thank Kelly Johns for being on the show again. Let's give her a round of applause, everybody.
Yes, thank
you know what I'm saying? So
that was a blast. Y'all are awesome.
Yeah, no, you are awesome. You're definitely going to have to be a guest on the show again. I would love to have you on after, maybe a first episode of one of these upcoming seasons and stuff.
That would
for sure.
Yeah. But thank you so much, Kelly, for being on the show. And you got some supporters in us. So, keep doing your thing and good luck in your future. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, guys. I'll see you next time.
See you next time.
Thanks, Kelly.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
That was a really cool conversation with Kelly. You make sure to follow her everywhere you can find her
I'll
videos.
link all of her areas in our show notes, and then obviously she'll be tagged on Instagram.
Yeah. So, we did talk about some Bachelor news with her. Was there anything else that we had to get through?
Just really quickly, I guess a couple of Claire's contestants are already off the show. One of them I don't even think he made it to like out of the limo because he tested positive for COVID. And then a couple of them also, I don't know if they just got axed before even making it out or whatever, but they were trying to say stuff about how her cast isn't very diverse, which doesn't seem out of the question, knowing Bachelor. But yeah, so already some people are throwing some minor shade before we're even going to see like the final product. So interesting in this new time of how that's all working out. So they're on their way home from the resort. But yeah.
Well, that's what's up. Well, why don't we get into our slapper of the week? This week was definitely my pick, and but we got to show support where support is shown for us. We got the retweet from Khaled, so I honestly do really like this song. I don't know why you're not a bigger fan of it, but it just
I just think it's not Drake's best work. Like both this, so Drake came out with this and Popstar under
which are both
DJ
actually
Khaled.
growing on me, but like even
Which
Popstar.
I just think Drake's trying to be something that he's not, and I just feel like lyrically they're not good.
I do appreciate an artist that's been around as long as Drake with the run that Drake has had, and also like sometimes it's like, why does he have to do these voices? Why does he have to pick these choices? Like, but he keeps reinventing himself, and I think that's what people like Kanye have done and been so successful in music, and I am like, I'm not the first one to be like, ooh, everything Drake I like.
I know you used to be a Drake hater.
I'm telling you, I just like music that is good to me, like, what I'm saying, slappers. And Grease really slapped like all weekend long. It just felt like one of those songs that you listen to when you're just like living the good life, and I know I'm not, but like, I mean, I live my life is pretty good, like, it's not like up in Grease or Betty, but that's what I felt like when we were on that rooftop pool. with Nate this past weekend, so it felt appropriate. So if you haven't heard it yet, this is
You're gonna.
Now you're gonna. But you're right. I do agree that this is probably not his best work, but I think that's why they're DJ Khaled songs featuring Drake, even though it's only Drake and DJ Khaled yelling on it. But
DJ, that's how all DJ Khaled songs are, really.
Exactly. So, well, without further ado, why don't we get into our slapper of the week? It's called Grease by DJ Khaled featuring Drake. Let's go.
Shit.
Whoa, hold up a second.
Side money in the fly kids.
We had to start off with
I
some
see you
Khaled real
keep
quick.
rapping, keep winning. They want you to lose.
They want
so
me to
we
lose.
keep winning. Straight up. Let's get it.
Slapper of the week.
This song slaps.
We had a hell of an episode this week, and I feel like you can listen to it yourself.
On
That
our
was
Future
slapper.
Bachelor podcast playlist.
Or on the Future Bachelor podcast playlist. But V, you got any shout outs this week?
Yeah, it's when this well, actually it'll be like the day after, but it's my mom's birthday, so happy birthday to Mama D.
Claudia, I love you.
And then I also wanted to shout out her sister, my Auntie Denise. She sent me some sparkly masks, to keep me safe out in this quarantine.
Was that the same Auntie Denise that sent us steaks?
No, that Auntie Barb sent us.
Damn,
the
you got
steaks.
some dope ass aunties, dude. They be sending
I
it.
know I do.
Send it.
And then I also wanted to shout out my friend Jason, who I randomly got to see last week from my hometown in Naperville. So,
Okay, well, a couple quick shout outs for me are I wanted to shout out my cousin Eddie P. I love you, man. Eddie P. Films. His birthday this past week, and then past pod guest this last week was Solomon.
Solomon,
his birthday.
yes.
So shout out to you, homie. And then I wanted to give a special shout out to the homie Chef John Mark. I was not having the best Sunday, and he just showed up at my door and took me to Costco with him. And
what a dad.
what a friend. But
That's
yeah,
like a dad
now I
move.
got
That's
toilet
like shit my
paper
dad
and
does.
paper towels for the next 2 years. So that was.
Wait, could I buy or even just get some paper towels off of you? We have none.
Did you say
We have
buy?
not been
Yes. Yeah. You can get a.
I think I pay you in my labor and my love. So
Well, maybe a toilet paper, but
I don't need toilet paper. I need paper towels. That is what I need.
Okay, we could barter. But yeah, I wanted to shout out Chef John, man. I love you, bro. Thank you for being a really good friend to me. So, yeah, I mean, that was a really fun episode. Kelly was really dope. It's really cool to see, what's life like for an actor in these times, an actress at these times. Yeah. And, she's super talented. So, make sure you go check out her videos. They're really funny, especially if you love The Bachelor. You're going to love it. So, what do you got going on this next week, V?
I think my little friend group of gals that we call it Friday Supper Club. We did it with pizza, and this time we're going to do wings.
Cool.
So we're going to each bring our own set of wings. I'm going to bring some lemon pepper wings. And I mean, I'm not making them. We're getting them from places. Right. I mean, this is Atlanta, a lot of good wings here. And so then we're going to vote, just going to be a little dinner night. But that's and I have a virtual wedding shower, bridal shower. That's the thing. My friend's wedding is supposed to be, my friend Kim, her wedding's supposed to be at the end of August as well. And she's still up in the air if she's doing that. And I have a different friend, Kathleen, who her wedding's the first weekend of August. And I technically was one of the only people that was still left. Well, not one of the only, but she had to disinvite 100 of people. And then I'm only invited to the reception. I just turned it down because it was going to be a lot of work for me to fly in for maybe 3 hours.
Hold on, she had a wedding, and then she had to disinvite people to the wedding?
No. The wedding hasn't happened yet. It's the first weekend of August. Mm-hmm. And she had to, because of COVID, she cut her, she had to literally text, email, call people and be hey, sorry, you can't come anymore because of restrictions at her ceremony's only gonna be 50 people and her reception's only gonna be 120. And for a while I wasn't even sure if I was gonna be able to have food at the reception. And just a week ago I was told I was going to be able to have it. But like, it's crazy. I have
So
no,
complicated.
I couldn't even imagine being a bride right now. And I know it's super tough, and I feel really like I really wish like I could be there, but it's just like really, it's a lot of logistics to like try to make it. And it's just tough, and it sucks.
A wedding is already a lot of logistics, and to try to think about it right now, it's just like, it's almost like I said, wedding reform. So yeah, I'm probably just going to chill. I've been really, I got the microwave. The microwave's dope.
Oh, the microwave.
Yeah, I'm just like, heat this up. I hooked up all my Alexas, so now when I bump music, it's in every room.
Oh, wow. Damn, surround life
yeah,
for you.
Dude, it's going good in my apartment. Like I said, just alone in here. So, but no, it's all right. You don't gotta do all that.
Oh my God. The best part is that you do your own. So you literally like, but as you're pressing it, you're like, no, guys, don't, no. Like, it'd be funnier if like I was like, oh, and I did it for you, but no, you did it for yourself.
Yo, guys, this is what producing a show looks like. Thanks for Veronica for just telling all our tricks of the trade. But yeah, guys,
it's funny though.
It is funny. You know why? It's guys, you don't have to laugh that much about it. But anyways,
oh my God.
Well, guys, thank you for listening to this very special episode of Future Bachelor. We will see you next week. Make sure to follow us everywhere where we are. Just Google us, Future Bachelor. We're kind of a big
Our
deal.
episode next week is 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, I don't even think we announced that it was episode 122. Yeah. I just get excited when we have a guest and I forget to say the episode number, but we did this time before getting out of here, so make sure you catch it for 1, 2, 3 next week, and there has to be a song that goes 1, 2, 3, and we're gonna do that. So usually they go to 4, but we might have to cut that one out. But guys, we love you. This has been Future Bachelor. Make sure to check us out next week. My name is Sai.
I'm Veronica.
And yeah, you know what it is. Deuces.
Bye.
Future Bachelor Podcast.